Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to answer listeners' questions. So let me dive right in. She writes, the Narc mother treating her son as her husband, emotional incest. What usually happens and what happens when he gets married and picks his wife? Well, that Narc mother of his is going to start trouble in the marriage. She's going to play, if she's a covert narcissistic mother-in-law, she's going to try to play like the good guy and, cause problems. She may say things to him like, why does your wife have you do this? Or I don't know how you take that from her. In other words, she's going to have a secret relationship with her son that you're not going to know about. She's going to be talking to your partner when he's at work. She's going to be jealous of the attention her son has with his wife. And what do? They cause problems. They're fire starters. So when you get involved with somebody, okay, that has a narcissistic mother, and it's like a narcissistic mother with her son, or even if it's a narcissistic mother with her daughter, they're going to get very, very jealous of their daughter or son's relationship with their husband or wife. And if it's a covert narcissist, they're going to be passive aggressive. Now, here's where it gets tricky, you guys, all right? Your partner, when they marry you, they have to make their partner the number one in their life. They could still love their mother or their father or their extended family, but your partner should be your number one priority, okay? And if your partner can't do that, then he's not married to you. He's married to somebody else, all right? He's married to his mother. And that is a recipe for divorce down the road. The only way to get along with somebody like that when they have a narcissistic mother or you have a narcissistic mother-in-law is basically you're going to have to kiss her ass. And even if you do kiss her ass, she'll always have something to say. Why is that? Because she's jealous of the relationship that you have with your partner. So she's going to be the one who wants control. So she's going to be dictating what you do on holidays. She may be dictating how you raise your children. And if your partner is a mama's boy or mama's girl, they're going to be going back to the Narc mother and reporting everything that's going on in your relationship. So it becomes a triangulation where it's not just you and your partner, going through life and dealing with things and dealing with problems. It's going to be you and your partner and your narcissistic mother-in-law getting in your business and wanting to control everything. And if they're a covert narcissist, they're going to do it very secretively, where you don't even know what's going on, because they're going to talk to their daughter and son in private. And if your partner is not a transparent person with you, if they're afraid to tell you what their narcissistic mother did, all right, or said, then you're going to, it's going to be you and your partner and the flying monkey, which is your covert narcissistic, mother-in-law, in your partner's ear, filling their ear up with everything to cause problems. They don't like to see people live in peace. They want control of their daughter or their son. And if they don't have control, they're going to cause problems. You'll end up in divorce court, okay? You're either going to have to beat to the drum of that narcissistic mother-in-law, or you're going to have to say, I'm married to you. I'm not married to your mother, all right? So it's trouble. It's just trouble. They will try to manipulate your partner. They will guilt trip your partner, okay? They may say things like, oh, I haven't heard from you. And then they're going to be asking plenty of questions. So what's going on? So you had a fight? So what else? What else? They're going to be very nosy. They're going to be in your business. They don't respect boundaries and realize that they need to stay out of a married couple's life. They're in your business and they start trouble. Why? Because they're jealous of your relationship. They want the control of your partner. So it really sucks, you guys. How do I know? Because I lived it. So you got to be really careful when you marry somebody and they have a narcissistic parent, because if they don't know how to put up those boundaries with that parent and have that parent respect it, you're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to have a lot of problems. And then your partner may feel, guilty or unhappy because they don't have a relationship with their narcissistic mother. That narcissistic mother's going to guilt trip them. And who's going to feel that? You're going to feel that, because you're going to have a partner who's very unhappy in the home because the narcissistic mother-in-law is, making them feel unhappy. Okay? So the best thing to do is make sure that you have a partner that sticks up for you, has your back, is transparent, and is not having their own little secret meetings behind you. This is what breaks up relationships, when third parties get involved. And it doesn't just have to be a narcissistic mother or father-in-law. It could be anybody. It could be a close friend. It could be a coworker. When other people get in and put their input, these are the flying monkeys that are going to influence your partner. And if you have a narcissistic partner who makes them a priority or puts them on the same level as you, then you're not going to have, an alliance with your partner, because there's these other people in your business, all right? So you got to make sure that you are the priority, you are number one, that your partner respects you, and that your partner isn't going back behind your back and talking about you, all right? This is why a lot of times people are married to somebody, and if they have a narcissistic mother-in-law, and their partner comes home after visiting their mother, they may have a face on, and you don't know what happened, and you ask your partner, well, what's wrong? And they say, nothing's wrong. Well, you know what's wrong? They went and talked to their mother, whether they were at work or stopped by their house, and their mother, who's a troublemaker because she may be a covert narcissist, was, talking bad about you in a passive-aggressive way, and trying to, and this is what they do too. This is what the covert narcissistic mother-in-laws do. They play the victim. They start trouble with little comments, like, oh, that's terrible that she makes you do that or he makes you do that. Oh, that's terrible. And then they say things like, oh, I just don't want you guys to fight. Guys to fight. When meanwhile, they love to see you fighting. They thrive on seeing you fighting. Why? Because usually they're jealous of you, because they don't like the fact that you have control, or you are, connected to their son or daughter, and that limits their control of their son and daughter. It's a recipe for disaster. That's why your partner has to be somebody who can acknowledge that their parent is toxic when they cross over boundaries, all right? You need a partner that could stick up for you over a toxic parent. And see, the problem is, a lot of these narcissistic mother-in-laws or father-in-laws, their kids are narcissistic as well, all right? How do I know? Because I lived it. And what happens is their allegiance is to their toxic family, not to you. Their allegiance is to their toxic family, and the problem is a lot of them don't even see their family as toxic. They just see you as the enemy. And if you point out any toxic thing that their mother or father does, they'll jump down your throat. Because they can't deal with shame, and they can't deal the fact that you're ever saying anything about their mother or father, because that's their parents, that's their family. They could say whatever they want, but if you say one thing, they'll make you pay for it. They'll fight with you, or they'll give you the silent treatment, and they'll make your life a fucking misery, all right? So always look at the relationship your partner has with their family. And you guys, this is gold. Because when you get involved with somebody, if they're very, very attached to their family, and especially their mother or father, they're a mama's boy or mama's girl, you're in for one hell of a ride. Because again, you're not married to them. You're married to them and their mother. All right. So you're always going to have to answer or kiss up to that mother if you want peace in your house. And they're going to be dictating everything. And there's still, even if you're the best daughter or son-in-law in the world, they're still going to have shit to say. okay? Why? Because they have a constant need for control. Okay, you guys, I'm moving on to the next question, and they write, "Hello, thanks for your podcast. My question is, how does being bullied as a child affect the covert narcissist? As adults, do they like to try to bully you back or try to intimidate you? Is this because they experience bullying growing up?" Well, a covert narcissist, a person becomes a covert narcissist because of, number one, their innate character, okay? It's their number one, everybody is born with a certain temperament, okay? Like, for instance, you have kids in school. Some kids need extra help. Some kids need extra validation, and some kids don't. A covert narcissist may have grown up in a very toxic environment. So their way of dealing with things is to hold in their feelings, hold in, how they feel about things, not to show you who they truly are. They hide their true self, okay? A lot of them don't even know who their true self is. That's why they mirror people. But a covert narcissist, it's a survival tactic that they don't show you their hand. So they may have grown up in an environment of trauma, all right? Maybe they grew up in a house of violence, so they were always afraid to open up their mouth. Or maybe they grew up in an environment that wasn't violent, but they grew up, having parents that were covert narcissists that never were transparent or expressed their feelings or emotion and used to fight with silent treatments. So maybe they learned that behavior because they saw their parents do that. When there was a conflict, rather than sit down and talk about it, they held their feelings in and they paid you back in a passive aggressive manner later on. So the bottom line is, they like to bully somebody. See, a covert narcissist is basically a silent bully. They hold all their emotions inside. They never show their hand. Why? So that you can never attack them head on. And they will fight you behind your back by smearing you to other people, telling other people that you're mentally crazy. They love to ruin question your mental state so that anything you say, nobody will take seriously. They do that because they're very, very insecure, fragile people, okay? They don't have self-confidence. Covert narcissists, that's why a lot of them are snobby. They feel the need to have to act snobby to try to prove to everybody that they are better than everybody by dismissing other people or, holding their nose up in the air or something. They're putting on an act to try to portray to be something that they're really not because they're very insecure. Insecure people don't have to be snobby. They're secure in who they are. They don't worry about what people think or feel about them, okay? Because they're secure. But with a covert narcissist, they feel this constant need to put other people down in a dismissive kind of manner in order to feel like they're superior, they're important, they're more smarter than you, okay? So the reason that they try to bully you back or try to intimidate you is because this is a learned behavior, usually in their childhood, along with their innate genetic makeup of their temperament. The people deal with things different ways, okay? There's certain people that will deal with you directly. I happen to be one of those people. I'm a truth teller. I believe that I'm a super empath. I'm somebody that is a straight shooter and I walk in the truth. And if I have a problem with you, I'm going to confront you. And I'm going to lay down the facts. And if you can't acknowledge the facts, then I know I'm dealing with somebody toxic. That's how I deal with things. I like to clear the air and try to resolve it. Because when you throw it under the rug, this is what covert narcissists love to do. They love to sweep things under the rug. What happens with that is it's a smoking gun. Eventually, something's going to pop off and it's going to explode. And this happens with covert narcissists all the time. They could stay silent for just so long in holding back their feelings and emotions until they totally pop off totally pop off. And we had a situation like that with one of our neighbors, where my ex was telling off the neighbor, like really, hitting him and nailing him. And my neighbor was a covert narcissist that was playing it cool, like it wasn't bothering him. He wasn't saying anything. It wasn't bothering him. He wasn't going to give my ex the satisfaction that it was getting to him. But then you know what happened? When my ex ended up going to work that night, he started chasing him down in the car down the highway. Okay, to the point where he had to call the cops. So what happens is the covert narcissist, they hold it in, but if you push them to the max, they're going to come after you. They can't hold it in no more. Like if you really push them over the edge, that covert narcissist is going to turn into an overt narcissist and sometimes a malignant narcissist and get violent with it if you push them over the edge, all right? But basically getting to the point of, why they try to do this, because this is what they've learned. This is how they learn to deal with things. They've had to suppress themselves, or they want to suppress themselves to protect themselves from being, a target for attack. Okay? Okay, you guys, I'm moving on to the next question. And they write, my ex's family has nothing good to say about him. They still tell me about all his shenanigans. I'm very careful about what I share with them, but lend a sympathetic ear when they're venting about his drama, which they enable, by the way. Your term, golden child, fits him perfectly. I have stepped back a lot from my involvement with his family, though. I love them very much. I just feel drained and know it sets me back on my moving on. Can a relationship with family really ever be healthy with a narcissistic ex? And the answer to that is no, okay? Anybody that has a connection to the narcissist, you have to cut off, okay? Because if you don't, that narcissist is going to know everything going on in your life, and it's still going to trigger you, because you having a relationship with your narcissistic ex's family, they're going to still be coming back to you and telling you things about him, and you're not healing. You're not going to be able to move on if you keep talking to his family. You've got to let them go, okay? Your ex is your ex for a reason, and the family is still connected to him. That's their family. Anything you tell his enabling family, those enablers are going to tell him. I don't care if they're nice to you. Understand this. Their loyalty is to their kid, to their son. Their loyalty is not to you. And they may be working as flying monkeys to your narcissistic ex to find out what's going on with you. Are you dating someone? Are you moving on? What are you doing with yourself? Narcissists are very nosy. Even their families are nosy. So, you keeping in contact with these people is not going to enable you in moving on. You've got to let them go. Just totally, slowly, stop contact with them. Just tell them, I'm busy, I can't talk. I'm busy, I can't talk. Don't tell them anything going on in your life, because it's going to go directly back to your narcissistic ex. All right? So, that is your past. You have to leave the people of your past in the past. Even though they're nice people, that's great. They're nice people, but they're still going to be talking about your ex, okay? And they may tell you things that are going to disturb you or trigger you. And you need to be mentally healed and healthy and move on, okay? It's still living in the past. Let it go, okay? Let it go. And, they may be very nice, but they're still enabling your narcissistic ex. And I'm sure they're reporting back to him everything that you say. So cut off communicate. My recommendation is cut off communication. Otherwise, there's still a voice trail back to your ex where he's going to know what you're doing. You're going to know what he's doing. And it's never going to be over. Put your energy in your future and where you're going, not where you were. Okay? Okay, you guys, I'm going to move on to the last question because I'm losing my voice because I'm always preaching, okay? She writes, hi, Yaz. I did a reverse discard on my husband 2 months ago and haven't heard a word from him other than to ask if our daughter is okay one time. He would tell me he loved me, but I just didn't get that from the actions. He would play video games all night while I did all the housework and child rearing, but then buy gifts for me. Why hasn't he reached out? How can he say he loved me so much, then not try to save the marriage? Because obviously, he doesn't love you so much. You don't go by what comes out of somebody's mouth. You go by their actions. Somebody who truly, truly loves you will never take a chance of losing you, okay? Now, he may be playing a power play game. And what does that mean? That means he's waiting for you to get desperate, to get weak, and to contact him. Why is he doing that? Because he wants the control. He wants you to beg him to come back, all right? But if you do that, you will be dead in the water, because then he's going to have complete control, and he's going to figure that he could always pull this and you're always going to come back to him. So once it's done, you guys, it's done. His actions are showing you that he really doesn't care, because if he cared, he would make an effort. It's like when you break up with a narcissist, right? And you don't hear from them for months, sometimes even years. And then they come back and they tell you they miss you, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? If they can go months or years without trying to resolve it, then they really didn't care about you, you guys. And a lot of times they even like their freedom. That's why a lot of them like a reverse discard, where they could put the blame on you. You got rid of them. They could tell everybody, oh, I wanted to work on the marriage, but they let me go, okay? They put all the shame on you, and they like it because now they have their freedom to go out and see other people. But then after they go out and, they whore around, some of them whore around, not all of them, but some of them whore around or have their fun, then they come back to you because they realize that they may have lost a good supply, all right? Or maybe they're not doing good. And then they try to work it out with you. That's not somebody who loves you. Somebody who loves you would not want to see you with somebody else. Somebody who loves you will never take a chance of losing you. Period. End of story. All right? So he may care about you, but he doesn't care enough to make the effort. So if you ever got back with him, you'd be doing all the work, okay? Because this guy's not even making an effort to try to work it out with you. All right? So you don't go by what he says, you go by what he does. And he seems very selfish. He's playing video games while you're doing all the work. And then he feels a little guilt, so he buys you a gift. That's to shut you up, okay? That's to shut you up and be like, you know what, I did this for you. But meanwhile, he doesn't want to put the work in. Narcissists don't want to put the work in, especially when it comes to kids, all right? God forbid you have children with a narcissist, you're going to be doing all the hard work. They want to do the fun stuff, okay? They want to do the fun stuff with the kids, or they want the praise and admiration that they post on social media, Facebook about, oh, look at me and my kid, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, when the kid is sick, when the kid has homework, when there's a teacher meeting, when there's, any problems with the kid, that narcissist, they make excuses why they can't be there for their children, and they expect the other parent or a grandparent or someone else to pick up the reins. They don't want to do the hard work. So do you want to be with somebody where you're basically raising those kids on your own, that they're not making the effort? There's two parents when a child is born, not one. So two parents have to put the work in to raising children, all right? So the bottom line is, you know what? He doesn't care enough to try to work it out with you. All right. And, he seems very laid back. And how are you going to be in a relationship with somebody who's laid back, that doesn't want to put the work in? You could be in a relationship with someone like that. But again, you're going to be doing everything. All right. As it is, there's a reason you did a reverse discard, because you weren't getting fulfilled. This person was not putting the work in. So do you want to go back to somebody and have them not put the work in? No. All right. He doesn't care enough. He doesn't care enough. That's the bottom line. You know, anybody could say they love you. You know, anybody could say any old shit in the world. But show me you love me. Make the sacrifices. This is how you know whether somebody loves you. They're willing to sacrifice. They're willing to put you above themselves. That's how you know somebody loves you. Okay, you guys? All right, I'm losing my voice. So, you guys, if you like the podcast, hit the subscribe button, share it. Don't forget, follow me on YouTube because that's where all my videos and information is on. I got over 4,000 videos on there, all about covert narcissists, reverse discard, triangulation, what happens when the narcissists come back. So go check out my YouTube at the Game Exposed Podcast. My Instagram and Facebook is the Game EXP123. Those are my official pages. TikTok is the Game Exposed. And be careful of who you follow on social media because there's a lot of fake pages out there. So just make sure that it's the ones that I'm listing. The links are in my bio. And have a great day, you guys. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship, and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at the Game EXP123 and also on Instagram, the Game EXP123. Okay? And have a great day.